Right, Mr. Laxman. So, which part of the education sector you would like to focus on?
So, see, as a sector, it's a pretty large sector, and undoubtedly the school part is the biggest one, but strangely, that's also the most regulated. Having said that, I think there is still a large amount of activity outside this which lends itself attractive for investment. For example, you have the professional courses, you have the post-college sector, you have the peripheral sectors, then you have vocational training. So these are all sectors, and of course then you have the kindergarten. Now, these are all sectors which are not regulated. There are a lot of efficiencies yet to be harnessed out of this, and therefore it makes for fairly attractive investment opportunities. Just to throw some numbers at you in terms of, for example, if you see the number of children that schools intake every year, it's about 1.8 million in India, whereas the intake in vocational institutes is about 18,000. So there's a huge disconnect between what the school intake is and what. So therefore, again, vocational training and such allied services are a fairly big untapped opportunity. So though education as a whole, you may say that it's either regulated or opportunities are limited, but if you look at specific sub-segments, there are a fair amount of investment opportunity.
All right. Under the vocational sector or the vocational category, which particular subjects or any particular profession you are looking at?
No, I think we are fairly open to wherever there is a opportunity to run a smooth, efficient process, and as much student intake in terms of so that you get stability of revenues, and somebody there who uses technology fairly intensively to overcome a lot of barriers would have otherwise classic education would have given you.
All right. According to you, with the existing scenario of the Indian education sector, the higher education, what's your perspective?
See, higher education, what's happening is there are excellent quality institutes, but they are few, and there are too many bright students wanting to chase those institutes. And then you have a huge number of colleges and institutes which probably are not as reputed or not as old, and therefore they have not built a credible name for themselves, where there is a kind of shortage of students actually, because the students don't want to go there. So there is a lot of bundling up and the chase at the top, whereas there is a mid-level which is fairly unutilized, and that will change only when there is a more amount of credible quality education at the higher level, even at the second tier schools, second tier institutes, colleges and postgrad universities. So that quality has to go up, and I think that will go up with use of more efficient use of resources that you have, and of course with technology.
All right. We are flooded with universities. However, our global appearance is not a good one. Hardly any university ranks in the top 10 of the Times higher education list. So what's the solution? Do you think the private equity funding is one of the solutions wherein we can go ahead and make a benchmark for ourselves?
See, very frankly, it doesn't matter if I'm not in the top 10 universities and institutes in the world, because those universities have established themselves over decades, if not centuries, to create a name, an image and a quality output consistently over a period of time. But here in India today, the need of the hour probably is not to, of course it will be good if I have 10 more with my country's name as a top 20 institutes, but the need is more how can I probably get more quality educational institutions even at the next level. It doesn't have to be the top 10, but even if I'm in the top 100, it's okay, as long as I can offer meaningful service.
So that's the question. We are not even in the top 100, we rank in the top 400, and that to just the IITs.
Yeah, so I think there is a long way to go with respect to more investments that we make, and also with respect to the quality of inputs that we give at that stage. It starts right from infrastructure to the quality of education that we give, and then there are students who are willing to pay, but they are not willing to compromise on the quality. So we see that happening actually in the next 5 years. In fact, if you see in the last 3 years, there has been a 100% jump in the amount of private universities that have been set up in India. So that's something that's heartening.
Great. Anything you would like to say about the incubation centers, that being a part of higher education in terms of business studies?
See, incubation centers are normally something which is done out of passion and something which is done out of a fairly long-term vision and not with respect to probably an investment today and a return tomorrow. So such centers are most suitable for organization and institutions who have actually built themselves over a period of time, and then they guide these centers, and therefore it's best left with established institutions.
All right. For private equity, it's very important that you exit at the right time. So do you think the education sector would suit into this particular parameter?
Some of the subsectors will definitely suit. However, they need to probably show a path towards how they are going to be scaling up and how they are going to reach X level of profitability. We are not talking about super profits, but X level of profitability acceptable to the investors.